Today, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're green.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk 10 Forward Roundtable. I am one of your hosts. I am Mel Geek. With me is some of the greatest panelists I've ever had. The man who has always been here. He talks 80s and 90s pop culture. He's currently reviewing one of the greatest science fiction shows of the 90s, Babylon 5. Give it up for the ambassador.
Howdy.
And one of my other greatest regulars here is he has finally gotten a break from school. He's getting a little recovery time. He's doing well overall. Mir, the gravitational adept.
Gravitationally adept. It's another way of saying I'm a fucking fat man. But it is National Mirror Day. I will have you know. I'm just letting you know right now. It is National Mirror Day.
Got it.
It is? I didn't see it on my calendar.
Yes, it's my birthday.
It's your birthday?
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday.
Happy
All
birthday.
right, everybody ready?
Happy
birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Y'all worked at like 3 restaurants, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
And,
I hated doing it when I worked in restaurants.
Taking it off right below me is a man who really does not need any introduction to anybody here or anybody in the chat anywhere. He does Monday through Friday shows, morning through night, and he is just got some of the best material I have ever seen on YouTube. No offense, Ambassador, you are not chopped liver. We love you. Stone Loki.
Ambassador, I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Now let's see how well you handle it.
Yeah, well, I have a nuclear-powered Russian submarine that'll blast your beautiful little lightsaber to oblivion, so let's see how well you handle that.
I have the Schwartz.
I have Russian. Russian trumps Schwartz.
Nimnoga.
Every time.
Nimnoga.
So, folks, if you
actually no,
out tonight, from the title and everything, we are talking one of the greatest science fiction parodies of all time, The Amazing, the Wonderful, written by, produced by one of the greatest geniuses in all of cinema history, Mel Brooks. We are talking Spaceballs.
Balls in space.
Balls in space. Thank you to all the people in the chat and all the people streaming. Thank you for coming in and not reversing the charges.
That's right.
That's right. And if you want any merch, we do have the Spaceballs Transformers lunchbox.
Okay. I was rewatching this last night. I'm going to start off with this. If you look at the background of the merch store there in Yogurt's Temple, one of the comic books is a Transformers comic book.
Yep. So was
I noticed that today.
So
I actually noticed that today. I watched it this morning.
I have watched this movie so many freaking times, and this is the first time I noticed it. Freaking Optimus Prime on a Spaceballs coloring book.
Yes.
Yep.
And I am like, what the actual hell?
They used Transformers merch and other people's merch and disguised it as their own merch.
I know. Can you
Another
say
ripoff?
You're a ripoff.
All right. Not to be outdone by Loki over here, but there we go.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, but let's see.
No,
green or yellow or Russian. I go with Russian.
Ambassador, you got to change it to Scrooge, man.
Look,
Scrooge.
Nope. I'm sticking with Ramius. Why? Because he's awesome.
I'll only go Russian in a Mail Order Bride catalog.
That's right. When I go Russian, I go deep into Russian.
That's right.
Okay, we don't need to hear about your sex life. or lack thereof.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
ambassador. How little you know, my friend.
All right, so let's talk about the movie, huh?
Sure.
We
Let's
break
talk
for
about.
nobody.
No, I break.
All right.
I break long enough to insult people that I just keep on driving.
I just shoot at them.
My first, this movie came out in the 80s. It was a lot of fun to watch. I was obviously a big person, big into sci-fi. No surprise to the ambassador and Mir to hear this story. Probably not even Stone Loki. First time I saw this movie, VHS, my grandparents' basement. I just grabbed it, put it in. I had no idea what this movie was. I was told it was a comedy about Star Wars, and I was like, okay. At that time, I had not really seen a lot of Star Wars at the time. I'd seen a lot of Star Trek, but not that much Star Wars. So when I watched the movie, as it's going on, I'm laughing my butt off here. And I got to give you a fun one here. I was watching it now earlier today, and Madam Geek came in and she started sitting down as I was watching, and she's just sitting there where she goes, I can't believe I'm watching this and actually enjoying it now. I'm like, well, when was the last time you saw it? And then she mentioned when. I'm like, well, it's probably because you had better company this time. And my son, little geek, came in, or teen geek as I should call him now because he's 13. He comes in and he's asking a question, and all of a sudden he sees freaking Spaceball 1 turn into Mega Maid. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, just sit down for a minute. And he's watching all that last part, and he's sitting between me and Madam Geek, and he starts laughing like crazy, hysterically. He is just laughing. Oh, and I'm like, man, I'll bet that's how I sounded the first time I saw this movie.
Commence
so I'm gonna
operation.
The generational effect.
Oh, God.
What about you, Ambassador? Give us your quick take on the movie, experience with it, and everything.
Oh, well, first time I saw it was actually on. We ran a different Blockbuster. I was going through a Mel Brooks comedy phase, and I was like, I want to watch every single Mel Brooks movie that I can find. And I finally got to Spaceballs and got home with it, put it into the VCR. And for those of you that might not know what a VCR is, it's like the great granddaddy of like your 4K high def Blu-ray player. And I was like, this man is a genius. This further cements the fact that Mel Brooks is a genius. And obviously I'm a huge, like, whatever, Star Wars fan. And I was like, I know this is taking pot shots at something that I love, but you know what? It's by a man that I respect, a man that I know is funny. And come to find out later on down the road that he actually went to George Lucas and said, hey, George, I'm going to be spoofing your movie. Do you care? And George is like, no, go for it, Mel. I mean, it's Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks had been in show business long before George Lucas had been. And, there are so many great one-liners. There are so many iconic scenes. I mean, Spaceball 1. Spaceball went to plaid. And of course, the banter between Dark Helmet and Colonel Sanders. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken? Okay, all right. And then the asshole scene. I say fair shot across their nose, not up it.
Sorry, sir. Doing my best.
Who is that man?
He's an asshole, sir.
He's an asshole.
I know that. What's his name?
Who made that man a gunner?
I did,
sir. He's my cousin. Who's he? An asshole. He's also an asshole, sir. First class gunner's mate, Philip Asshole. Great. How many assholes we got? We got on the ship. Yo!
You forgot Major Asshole.
Yeah, it is.
This movie, anytime I feel like a giant pile of crap, I pop it in and I instantaneously feel better. That's what this movie does for me. This movie grabs my funny bone and shakes it mercilessly. And to the chat, Positive Candor and Brian Hill, master of a lot. Good evening. Good to see you both. And if either one of you fine gentlemen want to come in and join the frivolity of this stream, you know where to find the link. And if you don't know where to find the link, then I can't help you. All right. I yield the floor.
All right.
I'm in the middle of a joke, so please, Loki, by all means, our special guest.
Yes, I was going to go. Don't worry, Mir. I was going to make you last.
That's
Anyway.
good, because I'm working on something.
Okay. Stone Loki, one of the channels and people like the Ambassador. I have absolute respect for the two of you. You guys are awesome. You guys have really let me in this community. I am so happy to have the both of you be on here. Ambassador as a regular, Stone Loki as a special guest. So Stone Loki, man, give us your thoughts on this wonderful parody of a movie.
I remember seeing this for the first time in theaters with my dad. Of course, we laughed our bullheads off. But it also had someone really interesting in it that I did not expect, and that was Jonesy off the Police Academy movies. And there were some key scenes in this movie that he just made even extra special, you know? Michael Winslow, yeah. You know, it's got the bleeps, the creeps, and the sweeps. The what, and the what, and the, you know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. That's not always
That's
lost.
always lost.
Yeah, it appears to be jammed. But I mean, you know, everything from Rick Moranis' portrayal of Dark, you know, Helmet, All Rise in the Presence of Dark Helmet, to Mel Brooks' appearance as Scroob. Everything in this movie rocked and was funny. Even when the princess got her hair shot, she'd probably shoot me.
Yeah.
But, you know, my hair. They shot my hair. Those son of a bitches. Dude, kick-ass chick. And they made her kick-ass, and they didn't have to make her, you know, overly anything. They just made her a complete, you know, bitch for those scenes. But absolutely wonderful movie. This sent me on a Mel Brooks quest to go see other Mel Brooks movies.
I would agree.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, Princess Vespa was a bass. Who knew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. She's a bass.
I would say, and what an incredible performance from Joan Rivers.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
She embodied her entire comedy routine for like 30 years.
And I heard she didn't even want to do this.
No, she didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, Mir, explain. Okay, Mir Loki, explain on that. I actually have not heard that one.
Well, I think they wanted, you know, Brooks wanted Joan Rivers in there, but she didn't really want to do, you know, she didn't want to be a droid on roller skates. So at the very last minute, they had her do the voiceover.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why you can kind of tell, like, you know, that there's just everything is not like put in like in it's all voiced over. It was just very interesting how that whole thing worked.
Yeah, I did know that there was an actor who was in the suit and Joan Rivers did the voiceover, but I didn't know that it was done that way because Joan Rivers didn't want to get in the suit. I just assumed that was how they would do it. I mean, Joan Rivers was what, ancient even back in the 80s?
Easily in her 50s at that point.
Yeah.
That was their compromise to getting her to actually do it was she wanted out. She wanted out, and they were like, okay, you don't have to be in the tin can. Just do the voiceover work.
That's it.
I'll say one thing. I was watching it today on Netflix, and this probably was one of the best qualities because I actually was able to, unlike the VHS tape I had back in the day, I could actually read what Joan Rivers or Dot Matrix is. Alarms were saying. Finally, I could actually read the whole dang thing. It was so crystal clear. I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, and I didn't even get the joke of her name. until like 20 years ago. A dot matrix. Oh, it's a printer. It's a printer.
Yeah. Hello.
I owned a dot matrix, so I definitely got that joke.
Yeah, my dad worked for a telecom company at that point.
Well, not to mention the original Game Boy was a dot matrix set or display.
Yes, it was.
It was.
The Game Brick.
Hey, that was an awesome console.
I know. I still have mine.
What do you think about what do you think about the whole thing with Lone Star? And I mean, let's think about the people who were in this movie. Okay, besides the awesome Mel Brooks, the fantastic we had Rick Moranis, who's done Peanut Drunk the Kids, so many other things. Bill Pullman, who was President Whitmore and has done other things. The iconic John Candy. He just steals every scene he's in.
And he seriously screwed up his back because that rig he has for his tail and the ears weighed like 180 pounds.
Uh-huh.
He was carrying that rig around, and it seriously screwed up his back in this movie.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. Actually, Stone Loki, go ahead and expand on that for the rest of us.
They had an electronic rig hooked up to control his tail and his ears, and he had to wear that on his back. You can tell he's hunched over through a lot of the movie. If you go back and look at his posture, John Candy stood up straight. He was a big guy. You never see him constantly leaning over in a movie, and he is leaning over trying to take the weight off of his back because this rig is hanging in the middle. So all that pressure, 180 pounds of pressure, is hanging off that rig right in the middle of his back, and it hurt. And it got hot, so he'd get hot as hell in that jumpsuit, all because of that rig that controlled his tail and his ears. Animatronics.
Yep. All right. Can I do my joke now?
No.
I have to do my joke.
No.
All right, do your joke.
Okay. How close? All right, here we go. What is this? What part of the movie is this? It's now, sir. You're looking at now. Everything that's going on now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We missed it. When? Just now.
Yeah.
When will then be now?
Soon. Forgot about now.
Yep, he forgot about now.
You know, it wasn't until I saw the movie again today that I realized all the movies that were on display were all the Mel Brooks movies from prior times. I had never caught that reference before.
And you call yourself a geek.
Okay.
So I saw this movie in theaters. I went with my mom. When we walked out of this movie, my mom she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "This is the stupidest movie I've ever seen in my life."
That's why it's funny.
I knew right then and there that it was one of my favorite movies of all time. And yeah, as I get older, I learn new things to really appreciate about this movie. Like even 10, 15 years down the line, I had no idea that Pizza the Hut was Dom DeLuise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just.
Well, that doesn't necessarily surprise me.
You know, but it does make sense when you think about it. Dom DeLuise did several things with Brooks.
Yeah, he played Caesar. He played the dance instructor or the dance director in Blazing Saddles. So yeah, Dom DeLuise is Pizza the Hut. Perfect sense. Of course, you got Benny the gangster robot who's modeled after the gangster from
Max Headroom.
Max Headroom. Well, Max Headroom, yes, in part.
Yeah.
Max Headroom in part, but also from Godfather's Pizza.
Yep.
And since we were talking about, the heat in John Candy's suit, the Pizza the Hut suit caught on fire and burned the shit out of the guy that was in it. Because Dom DeLuise wasn't in it. He was like, "Yeah, y'all aren't putting me in that thing. I'll do the voice for it." That was another one of those. We'll just do the voice for it. But that damn pizza suit caught on fire because they had to keep it heated to keep the stuff on it moving.
And of course, okay, to the chat, Darth Haster and Captain Trek, or Kronos and Kronos and Darth Haster. Sorry. President's group told us to comb the desert, so we're going to comb the desert. Have you guys found anything? Nothing, sir. What about you guys? Nothing, sir. What about you guys? We ain't found
shit.
And that was Tim Russ, by the way.
Tim Russ.
I know. Tim Russ is a Spaceball. He's been a Spaceball. He's been a Vulcan. He's been heaven only knows what else.
He was also technically one of the terrorists on one of the TNG episodes.
Yep.
Tim Russ, for those of you who don't know, when he got his role in Voyager, I watched him behind the scenes. He was the actual runner-up for Geordie LaForge.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yes, Tim Russ auditioned for.
You're telling me Geordie?
He auditioned for Geordie LaForge, and he was the second choice, and of course, he didn't get it, and then he comes on, years later and gets on that. Plus, he was also in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country as the Vulcan, but we didn't have his name. And then I will give Voyager credit for that. The retconning that all into Voyager was actually pretty damn well done.
Here's the thing. I don't think he was actually in Star Trek VI. He was in Generations as the helmsman for the Enterprise B.
Yep, he was.
And he was human.
Okay.
He was human. He didn't have the ears. He didn't have the ears, and he didn't have the ears in Generations. He had the ears in the flashback, in the Voyager flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm just gonna say this
we're not talking Star Trek today, guys. We're going straight back to Spaceballs.
Well, okay, and to bring up Spaceballs, Atheist Star brings up a really good point. The Dinks.
Ding.
Ding, ding,
Ding, ding, ding,
Ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding.
Okay, guys, when did we wind up in Disneyland? Let's think about this. As a comedy goes, this movie has some of the most fun, quotable lines. I mean, we're all doing it, and it's like I was watching the movie today, and I have not watched it in probably 5 or 6 years, and I was really enjoying just catching little nuances I may have never catch. Like, for example, when they're in the middle of the desert in the sands of Vega, and Lone Star gives the princess his jacket, and she takes a whiff of it, and she does this disgust look like, God, this stinks. And I was like, I just finally caught that. She's like, she smells it. She's like, oh my God. She doesn't say, oh my God. She just has this look of this.
All right. I need to bring this up. I need to bring this up because I brought this up last night to Mam Ambassador. How exactly did Barf come into being? Because there's a theory right there that could be extremely either hilarious or extremely disturbing. Because think about it. Yeah. He's half man and he's half dog.
He's his own best friend.
Yeah, so think about this. Somehow or another, and I hope somebody knows where I'm going because I hate to be going here alone. Someone had to, one way or another, someone had relations with a dog or a dog in relation with someone else.
Or it's just a genetic mutation.
It could have been an experiment.
That's right. It could have been a lab experiment.
Yeah, but mine's funnier.
And gross.
Well.
No, see, this is what happened when Chewbacca fucked Princess Leia, okay? We all knew it was going to happen at some point. And it did. And from that, we got John Candy. No. It's Barf. Not here,
Yeah,
Mr. This is a Mercedes.
But Mir, the only way that works is if Leia's on top. Otherwise, she gets crushed.
Hey, you know what? She was a spry youngin' back in those days. You never really know, okay?
Oh my God, I can't believe I actually took us to that place, but at this particular moment, I don't care that I did.
It's okay, because if you do not tell us the combination to the air shield, we will give your daughter back her old nose.
Nose.
Oh, God.
It took me a minute. I just noticed when I was watching it, when Lone Star and Barf are talking, it took me a little while to realize that, I knew back in the day, I got to say that, that little Bon Jovi song going was a lot of fun. Yep. And then you look at Barf's, or you look at Lone Star's dash, and you see chips here, chip bags here, stuff here. I'm like, oh my God, that's my fucking truck right now. Because I'm going to be one of those people. I'll be honest with you. I'm obsessive about keeping my house clean. But my truck currently right now has needed a bath for about a month and a deep inside cleaning. And I just don't do it. It's like when it's my truck, I'm like, this is my personal space. I don't care if it stinks.
My truck is about 24 years old now. Oh, yeah, I don't give a shit about it. I got it basically as a hand-me-down, but just happened to be, it happened to work at the time. Basically, nothing works in that car except for the engine. And, yeah, I'm kind of happy with it. That's the truck I used to go to the shooting range.
But this is, this is a movie where it just shows... Mel Brooks' genius in cinema. I mean, he didn't just, yes, the primary basis was making fun of Star Wars, but he took Star Trek, Planet of the Apes, Aliens. I mean, for crying out, he got, oh, shoot, now I'm going to draw a blank on his name. The guy who had the guy from the Alien who had the chest buster. I know I'm going to kick
John Hurt.
John Hurt.
Yeah, John Hurt. And he came back for that, and he's like, God, not again. And here's the thing, I hadn't seen Alien at that time, so I didn't get the reference.
I did.
I did. I was only maybe 10 years old. I wasn't allowed to watch it back then.
And Kathia, I do get it. It's called a joke.
Yeah, like, oh, what's wrong with him? What did he have for lunch? Oh, he had the special. That's what I ordered. Kick right to the soup.
Good call.
Oh, God. And so the combination to the air shield is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the stupidest combination I've ever heard in my life. That's the kind of thing an idiot would have in his luggage.
I'm going to be honest. Kathia Star here brings up a great point, except for I don't think they were 800 numbers. I think back in the day they were 900 numbers. Yeah, and they were $4.99 a minute. It's like, hey, come here, listen to us for 10 minutes. We're going to tell you how to get something.
This actually, this predates the 1-900 numbers, actually, just by a little bit, just by a couple of years.
Okay.
Why the hell do I know this?
I was.
Why the hell did I come up with the theory that a human and a dog or anything had intercourse and it created barf?
Yeah, and while we're on that one, why did Loki pick up the one picture with Chewie with a fucking shit-eating grin on it?
That's right.
Well, of course he did, because it's Loki. That's what he does.
That's what I do.
Here.
Yes.
Most people don't rip their arms out of their socket when they have something better to do. Stone Loki, demigods like him are known to do that.
Well,
yeah, well, he may be a demigod, but I'm a Russian captain, and that trumps him.
Not when you're getting head from a princess.
That's right. Yes, man. Oh, yes.
Please.
Oh, yes.
All I'm saying is that Russia, they assassinated their Tsarinas, so. That's right. Chewie knew what he was doing.
Yep.
Chewie knew Jack.
I'm sure Chewie. You know, if we're gonna go there, I'm saying for the size of him and his size of his feet, I'm pretty sure he was well hung.
Yeah, but he.
Are we really going to talk?
Yes,
No,
yes, we are.
No.
I'm blaming the ambassador. I was never going to go here, but the ambassador is the one bringing this up.
No, Chewie was not well hung. By the time the thing was all over, he had to scrape Leia off the mattress. All right.
Oh shit!
So
this is what we learned in outer space.
You guys think we first saw the Spaceball one? Spaceball. I mean, the ship is just.
I love it. I wanted it.
Kind of almost, if I'm not mistaken, a little Jaws kind of parody there in the sound.
Well, yeah. Well, a Jaws / Alien.
Yeah, we break for nobody.
Yeah.
Colonel Sanders, what is it? You told me to let you know the moment Planet Geridia was in sight, sir.
Okay.
Planet Geridia is in sight,
sir.
You're really a spaceball. You know that. Yes, sir, I do.
Make way for Dark Helm.
No, Barry yet. How many times I told you never dial this screen? This is an unlisted screen. How did you get this number? Okay, unlisted wall. Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he was even before when he was in his bedroom and he was dealing with the Doublemint girls.
Now there's a man who could get some trim. Hey, in the immortal words of Louis XVI from History of the World Part 1,
it's good to be the
king. And the Heirs of Chaos. Okay, why are we talking about Jaws, Chewie, and Leia fan fiction? We aren't. They are. I'm just egging this on for as much as I can.
It's something that he brought up over vodka and caviar.
This movie is, I think, one of the things I've always loved about Mel Brooks movies is especially, and I made this clear, and I've said this for, I think, 20 years now, since the 90s to now, when all those really shitty garbage, I wouldn't even wipe my ass with them, parodies started coming out. And when we started seeing them, I said, I want to take everybody who ever did these stupid-ass parody movies, I want to lock them in a room, make them watch every freaking Mel Brooks movie, and be like, okay, you want to know how to do a parody? This is how you do a parody. You could pick Robin Hood. The man is comical gold. And nothing about this, I know the movie was not one of his highest grossing movies, but it is still a great movie, great effects, just fun as hell. I mean,
well, not to mention,
who the hell besides Mel Brooks would come up with turning a ship into a frickin' maid?
Well, if you remember, just a year or so before that, we had Transformers the movie. So I imagine he got the inspiration for that from the Unicron, voiced by the late great Orson Welles.
It's a transformer.
It's a giant transformer.
It was literally the summer before.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's another great quote. Mega Maid. She's gone from suck to blow. Suck.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, dear. Get your mind out of the gutter.
All right, guys. Let's go start breaking down characters, because we've been going at it for 30 minutes, but let's get a little on topic. Let's go back to characters. Stone Loki, and there goes my voice. Stone Loki, pick a character you want to talk about.
Oh, we got to talk about Dark Helmet. All rise in the presence of Dark Helmet.
Yeah, I'll just sell my ass right here.
What?
Oh man, when he
you went over my helmet? No, sir.
No, I
more to the
side.
side. Take out the ring. Oh shit! No, sir. Not that. Anything with that. Yes.
Yes. That. Oh shit.
People crying.
Oh. Yeah, every man. I guarantee you, every man in the theaters were like, "I feel his pain."
Okay, for anybody who does not know what it is like to get kicked in the balls, I'm pretty sure most of us men know what it's like when you're kicked or kneed in the balls. That's where they were going with it, and we all felt that pain. We were like, "No!"
Actually, I can say with complete honesty, I've never been once kicked or kneed in the groin. I've been kicked. I've had a soccer ball kicked in that general vicinity, and it has
You've
hurt
been
like hell.
kicked in the balls. If you got a soccer ball kicked in the balls, you've been kicked in the balls.
You've been kicked in the balls. You weren't.
No, I haven't, because
wearing
to insinuate that I was kicked in the balls would be to insinuate the foot actually made contact with my genitalia. It
A
did not.
ball
A
was
ball
kicked
did.
in your balls. So you've had a nut shot before.
Yes, but
Okay,
not
well,
by.
we'll go there.
It was an
Anybody
indirect
think
confrontation.
No.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Very
You're
good.
welcome.
You get a gold star and a cookie.
Ew.
Yeah, Darker. Rick Moranis.
Okay, would you prefer a princess and a Wookiee?
No, I want a freaking bottle of vodka.
Hey guys. Hey. Well, I'm gonna mute you two. If you stop, let's stay on topic. I know we're having fun. Let's stay on topic here. Let's talk about the guy who gives great helmet. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not Stone Logan.
Loki knows nothing about giving helmet. Or
Damn
maybe he
Okay,
does.
I'm joking there. No, the fun thing about Dark Helmet is obviously he is, of course, a play on Darth Vader. But Rick Moranis was perfect. He's a much shorter guy. He's very lanky, and he has that voice. And Rick Moranis is just funny as heck. The first movie I think I ever saw him in was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is still a movie to this day I love to death. And watching him play a villain, and just a funny villain, and the fact that he's an incompetent villain, and the whole rest of freaking Spaceballs, they're all so incompetent. They just follow him. But they go to ludicrous speed, and then, I mean, come on, ludicrous speed is actually, what is it? Isn't that on a Tesla thing now? Isn't that like a speed on a Tesla thing?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Ludicrous speed?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, ludicrous speed. They've gone to plan. Well,
Ludicrous speed? Are you crazy? That was such a great line.
You can't forget the coffee scene either. You know, I always have coffee.
We're talking about watching Radar.
You know that. Everybody knows
Everybody
that.
knows that. Of course we know that, sir.
Now that I have my coffee,
ready to watch.
I'm ready to watch Radar.
Did anybody besides me feel a little kind of a MASH reference there?
No.
No. It was the Mr. Coffee and Mr. Radar spoof.
Yeah, Mr. Coffee and Mr. Radar.
Yeah, I knew about the Mr. Coffee because my family had a Mr. Coffee back in the day.
And on the DVD is Mr. DVD.
Yeah, it's Mr. DVD.
Mr. Rental.
Mr. Rental.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. So, Rick Moranis' Dark Helmet was just great. He had so much fun. I think he really had a lot of fun with that role. He really sold it, and it's kind of the antithesis of Darth Vader. It's just kind of a bumbling when he's like, especially when I think my favorite scene. Oh God! But seeing him drinking coffee through his mask, but then when he gets down to the planet, and he's in that, he's got that big hat,
Safari pith helmet. Yeah.
And then he's like, prepare to go. What are you preparing? You're always preparing.
You're always preparing. Just go.
Yep.
Sir, you better sit down. Boom. It's like.
My favorite was always at the end of the movie when the bearded lady's like, "Who are you? One of the freaks?" He's like, "Come back, you fat bearded bitch."
Okay. All right. Now I'm just going to say this about Dark Helmet. Dark Helmet, at certain points in this movie, is more intimidating than Kylo Ren.
Yes, totally agree with that.
Pretty much at every point, if we're going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
when Dark Helmet is more intimidating than that. Okay, as Orange Hat Reviews called him the other night, the emo bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little off topic here. I'm gonna be like, wait a minute. Okay, we're gonna go a little off topic here because I want to point out when I first saw The Force Awakens, when I walked out of the movie, I had a lot of thoughts, but I said, wait a minute. You all were bitching about Anakin Skywalker you called him an emo bitch, and then you're all praising Kylo Ren. And hey, I'm gonna give Adam Driver as an actor all the respect in the world because he's a fellow brother Marine, but. David, if Kylo wasn't more of an emo, whiny bitch.
Yep.
God,
his grandfather.
It's worse than his grandfather. I really wanted a Rise of Skywalker for Anakin to show up and bitch slap and be like, motherfucker, didn't you learn from the past? What, you missed my holocron or something?
I thought when I first saw a picture of him, I was really getting Darth Revan vibes, and oh yeah, they no, not at all. Not at all. Total disappointment.
Even in like at Force Awakens, I was like, okay, maybe there might be a chance. There seems to be a bit of a dynamic character there, but then once they got into 8, it was like no. It was really just a waste of characters, just like pretty much everything else in the sequel trilogy. It was just awful.
Okay.
Yeah, but if we're gonna go villains here, let's talk about the president of space with Mel Brooks.
President
Scrub.
Okay, okay, all right. I will draw another analogy that I think most everyone will agree with. When President Scroob is more intimidating and more entertaining as a villain than Melty Candle Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker. When his plan makes more sense than Palpatine's does in The Rise of Skywalker. And not to mention, it's a plot that you can actually follow. Essentially, Planet Spaceball is going to steal all the air from Planet Druidia. And Dark Helmet looks at the camera and says, everybody got that?
I don't know what to do. I can't make decisions. I'm the president, for God's sake.
And he's got a more cohesive plan than Palpatine did in The Rise of Skywalker.
Hey, I gotta
it was a lot less funny, that's for sure.
Oh, his salute was always my favorite.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hail Scroob!
Hello, President Scroob. Hi, Charlene.
Hello, Charlene.
Hello, Charlene.
I'm Marlene.
Hello, Marlene. I'm Charlene.
Charlene. Chew your gum.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Scroob was just so much funny when he showed up, and he's like,
I know.
When he's literally doing a phone call interview, and it's like, yeah, there's no air shortage, and then he pulls out, and I don't know what.
Perrier, canned on Druidia. Yep. We now know what Druidia's number one export is. Air. I just wonder how I just got one question. How in the hell do you actually can air? I mean, I don't,
compressed air.
Compressed
air is you do compressed air all the time. Compressed air is a thing now.
True. Okay, point taken. But still.
And then, what about the actress who was always on the damn screen, and then she did that thing with him where she wanted to see it. She was always like calling Scroob at like the worst.
Oh, Commander at Zircon.
Yeah, Commander at Zircon.
Yeah, she's always calling. She calls him when he's sniffing air. She calls him when he's having a three-way, and then she calls him when he's taking a piss.
But he's taking a leak. I'm guessing. Yep. I'm guessing Snotty wasn't enough man for her.
Shall we have Snotty beam you over, sir?
No, it's Snotty.
Yeah, we got to talk about that scene.
Yeah. Is it safe? He beamed me twice last night. It was wonderful.
Well, it must be okay. They do it on the. They do it on
Star Trek. And seeing my favorite scene with all of them together it's like what right when Spaceball 1 is almost it's about to blow up. I think, well, thank you for choosing such a. This is your last chance to push the emergency cancellation button. I think, emergency cancellation button. Where is it? It's over there.
And it's,
Run down.
and it's out of
order.
order.
Out of order. Fuck. Even in the future, nothing works.
That's right.
And let me tell you, if that does not hold true today,
Yeah.
here we are. It's 2020 and nothing works. At least not for long. Oh, God.
Okay. Another thing I love about this movie, the music. It is so cheesy, but yet it is so fun. Okay, better yet. Favorite character has got to be Yogurt.
I
Even
agree
with
that.
strawberries.
That's
Even with strawberries.
That's right. Still, my favorite scene is not one that's all that common, but it's in the scene where they're all in the cave and Lone Star is learning how to use the Schwartz, and he lifts up the Schwartz, the thing of yogurt, and it comes down on Barb's foot.
Upsy Mozzie, Upsy Daisy, Upsy
Daisy.
And his foot's flat as a damn pancake.
How do you make a Mog sad? Smash his foot.
Oh my God! And of course, the movie's all about merchandising.
merchandising, where the real money is made.
So that's right.
I actually asked my parents when I saw that. I said, "Can I get the Spaceballs flamethrower?"
The flamethrower. The kids love this one.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Spaceballs the doll.
No.
Me.
Me, they Schwartz me with you.
You know, it's funny. I actually had a boss in the military whose name was Schwartz, and I would have made the joke to him. Problem was, he was a dickhead with no sense of humor.
Oh, dude, officer.
No, worse than that. Career enlisted. Trying to get he was one of those career enlisted, trying to focus career. He wanted to get to E9. That's all he cared about.
Yep.
That's all he cared about was to get to E9. And he's not the first one to do it, but had no sense of freaking humor whatsoever. So I never made the joke to him because I was like, you know what? You're not worth my time. You either won't get it or you're going to get pissed because I've made it.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm not even military, and even I know that.
Oh, Stone Loki and I know. From Berks, and I know Stone Loki knows from being a military brat. When you have, there's nothing wrong with pursuing an enlisted career because it's a good career. But when your entire focus is all about your career, you end up stepping on your own people to start climbing the ladder. And when you're someone like me who put his troops first and my career let me rephrase it. I put my family first. I put my troops second only. But when I was at work, I put them first while I was at work. And my career was a distant second. I didn't worry about where I was going to. That's why I retired as an E6.
That's why I'll always have respect for Marines. God, country, Corps.
Amen.
Honor, courage, commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Semper Fi.
Do or die. Hoo-ah!
No. Hoorah, not hoo-ah. Hoorah.
Yeah, it's hoorah. You know, like the Spartans do in 300.
No.
That's what I said.
In the Marine Corps, it's hoorah.
Hoorah!
Hoorah.
Well, said it once before, and I'll say it again. Marines are great. Every naval officer should have one.
If they want to survive, they would want one.
Mayor, you are on your own there, son. To quote the pastor in Blazing Saddles, son, you're on your own.
Half my family's Navy. I can't say anything.
I got plenty.
And if you ever meet a Marine, tell them that. They'll love it.
Okay.
Yeah, it does not have the intended effect. Not at all.
Look at. So let's go on to another character, Bill Pullman, who plays Lone Star. I mean, he has that. We're introduced to him. We are first introduced to him, and he is obviously hungover as hell.
You think?
Just a little bit. I mean, I
little.
When I was younger.
He's named after a beer.
Yeah, that tells you something right there. His parents probably named him that just before they left him on the monastery of the speechless monks.
Yep. And this is like 1987 when Spaceballs came out. So this is only Bill Pullman's second movie.
Yeah.
I think. Well, his first movie was, I think, Ruthless People in '86.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's a relative unknown before that.
Oh, yeah.
He's the skeezy boyfriend in Ruthless People. Yep.
Yeah.
Never even heard of the movie.
Oh, Ambassador, you call yourselves an 80s aficionado?
Oh, God.
Come on,
yes,
brother.
I do. Yes, I do.
You have to watch it. It's a Zucker Abrams.
Danny DeVito, Bill Pullman.
Bette Midler, Judge Reinhold.
Yep.
Helen Slater.
Yep. Supergirl.
Ooh, Helen Slater. Yep. Hello.
Now, I'm gonna bring up someone. I want to talk about this guy. I gotta go here real quick. I know we're gonna talk about this already. I gotta go side. How do you say it? Ronnie Gramham, the minister? Oh my God, that guy was so funny.
Now,
No.
I know.
Well, if you know,
then
you're wrong movie.
It always reminds me of him. There she goes down the aisle, out the door.
Mm-hmm.
I know who did it.
That's it.
Okay,
I'm marrying somebody tonight. Do you? Yes. Do you? Yes. Good. You're married. Kiss her.
And then he claps and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, excuse me, I'm trying to do a wedding here, which has nothing to do with love. Please be quiet.
I can't believe you're getting married to Prince Valium. He's such a pill.
Yeah.
I know, right?
That was what? Jim J. Bullock.
J. Bullock.
Oh my
and
God.
I recognized him. I actually recognized him in the movie. He was the only person I recognized because he was on
Hollywood Squares.
No, yeah, Hollywood Squares too, but he was
on Hollywood Squares all the time.
But he was also on Alf. He was Willie Tanner's brother.
Yep. I remember that. I loved Alf.
I did
so
too.
Much fun.
And he went to go live with him, and then Alf just destroyed his poor apartment. And he's like, "Nah, you can stay." And then something breaks. He's like, "Get out." It's like, "Ooh, Jim J. Bullock has a little dark side to him." And he's sitting there doing that thing, and he's so like, Princess.
Where have you been?
Oh, that's just contagious. Stop.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love
Prince Valium.
I love
so useless.
Patton. I love
Dick Van Patten did a phenomenal job.
King Roland, king of the Druids.
Yep.
How dare you address me as on this ship? You will call me you idiot, not hey you captain.
Yeah, just what we need. A Druish
princess.
Funny, just one Druish.
And can I just say, Daphne Zuniga in this film, she was 50 flavors of awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
31 flavors of awesome to be a little more current. 31 flavors, because Baskin Robbins was big in the 80s. She was 31 flavors of awesome.
I would agree. Yeah. She went from being she was a spoiled little bitch. I mean, she really owned that role. As a spoiled little brat, she's like, I don't have to put up with this. I'm rich.
I'll call my father. 1-800-800-Druidia. And she has to actually enunciate it out.
Yeah.
Which
and
gives you the impression that
I can't use this thing. I hate guns. My hair.
They shot my hair. They shot my hair. Son of a bitch.
And then she just caps all them and barks like, holy shit.
That was pretty good.
That's pretty good for
That's pretty good
Rambo.
for Rambo.
Oh God. This is
Okay, and did anybody get the vibe and everything during the chase scene there on Spaceball City when they're running through the corridors? That was kind of a spoof of the V miniseries.
Yes.
Or was that just me?
Yes.
Okay, it wasn't just me then. Okay,
Yes, I did.
it wasn't just me.
You're talking the original V back in the early days.
Yeah.
We're talking
the 1980s. We're talking the 1980s version, not the crappy early 2000s version.
We don't acknowledge that's existence.
There is only one true V. Guys, we have got to review that.
Should. Absolutely.
Man. Well, first I gotta get a copy. I gotta get a copy of the full series, the both parts, the original miniseries, and then the final battle.
The 80's aficionado does not have a copy of V and the final battle.
It's not my
Get
movie,
off my
Where's your card? Where's your 80's card? Because we're taking it back.
Hey.
Like hell you are.
It's still looking in his vents. There are some things from the 80s that are still hard to find.
Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to 90s stuff, I've got copies of Kung Fu. I'm still trying to get a copy of Kung Fu: The Legend Continues.
Okay. Do you know how freaking hard it is? Just a quick aside. Do you know how freaking hard it is to find a full copy of the full series of Night Court? Jeez, I've looked on Amazon. It is freaking expensive as all hell.
It's on my movie server.
I even looked on eBay. I even looked on freaking eBay, and it's just about as bad to get the whole series. No, Night Court, the TV show.
The original miniseries of V and the final battle, $14.69 on Blu-ray from Amazon.
Ding 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 ding.
Okay, for the months out, I'll get it.
All right, to Kronos, the 80s V was good. The 80s
it wasn't good. It was great.
Fantastic. And I love this one. And I'm going to throw this one. We got to talk about this because I did not see this one coming. Kronos brought this one up. You captured
doubles.
Yeah. This is not
Princess
them. You captured their stunt doubles. You idiots.
Ooh, Kathia Starr, you're my hero. And I say that most sincerely.
Great. I'm throwing it up now. Yeah. Kathia
Starr. In the immortal words of Wayne Campbell and Garth Algar, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're scum. We suck.
Fuck.
Get it on Blu-ray because the DVD collection is $69.96.
Well, yeah, because VHS at this point is so hard to find.
No, Loki was talking about DVD.
No, DVD.
Okay,
combo
for those of you who don't know,
$20.
I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to show you what I found recently, just for fun.
Oh, freaking show off. Yeah, next, as soon as before this month is out, I will get V.
I'd show some shit off myself, but I don't.
Oh, yeah, show me this one.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's a VHS tape.
Yep.
We've all seen them.
Yeah.
Still in the wrapper.
Yeah, still in the wrapper. That was the part that threw me for a loop. I was like, okay, I got to grab that.
I recently got the Voltron series, the entire series in the tins. In the line tins.
I hate you so much.
Thank you.
I hate you so much. I don't really. Okay.
This movie had so many good one-liners. It had so many good characters, so many good actors. And,
Spaceballs. Well, there goes the planet.
Yeah, the making fun of Planet
of the Apes. And if I did not know any better, I would swear that was original makeup that they used from Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay. Now, Ambassador, you brought up. Okay, now I got to go into this because I think a lot of us are very big fans of special effects, especially the old school practical effects. And you got to give this movie credit for the budget it had. Mm-hmm. It had awesome practical effects. I mean, the makeup and everything. Look at Mel Brooks as Yogurt. Oh my God, the bearded lady.
Yep.
The little bear, that was fun. I love that bear. Ha 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 ha. These ships.
Yeah. Well, you had two ships really. You had Spaceball one. You had the Eagle one, or whatever it was called, Lone Star ship. Eagle 5. Okay.
Yeah, Eagle 5, not Eagle 1.
Okay, Eagle 5.
Yeah.
His license. Oh, something I want to say, and then you had that Mercedes that
the Mercedes to the
roof, all leather interior. Got it at a very good price, paid cash. What I didn't catch until today was the license plate that said "spoiled rotten."
Yep.
I never caught that until just today, and I started laughing my ass off. I was like, "Oh shit! How did I miss this all the times I've watched this?"
Yeah, absolutely, positively love that. Yeah, spoiled rotten. And something else I'm going to bring up that y'all may have picked up on: the little dinks. They bear a very strong resemblance to the little
Jawas.
miniature monk. Well, yeah, Jawas, but no, from Phantasm, the evil little dwarves from Phantasm. Anybody? Phantasm?
Yeah. You're going way back on a horror show.
Yeah. But I remember the little evil monk, the little evil dwarvish monks and everything from Phantasm. Man, those suckers were vicious.
Yeah, I actually counted them, and as I was listening to the ding, 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 I was actually. Did anybody? I looked at Madam Geek, and I said, I know there's only 6 of them, but I'm kind of getting a 7 dwarves vibe here. More, a kind of a cross.
Yep.
7 dwarves and Jawas.
Yeah, probably. It's a little bit. I'd say that's completely reasonable.
Oh, good grief. God, this is the genius of Mel Brooks. I mean, this is why this guy has an Oscar, a Tony, and an Emmy, and he's one of the few people who has ever gotten all 3 of the highest entertainment awards.
Yep.
Well, of course, because the man was genuinely talented. He busted. Okay, is well.
He just turned 93,
something like that. Yeah, something like that. So,
and he's still going.
Yeah, because he's still doing tours and stuff and everything. And you know what? If I ever get the opportunity, if he ever comes to a town near me and he's doing like a talk, even if he just does like a talk or something, or it does they'd have a special showing for one of his movies and he does a Q&A afterwards, I'm like, man, Ambassador, we are going. We met William Shatner. Why not meet Mel Brooks? Of course.
Yes, 80's Voltron is awesome. I've never seen any other version of Voltron. I have tried and I cannot watch them. I respect anybody who likes the newer versions that have come out, but I can only watch. I mean, I can watch the lions and the cars, but I cannot watch the newer versions. It just
and you know what? I'm just gonna say this: Voltron is a million, and I mean this literally, a million times better and more awesome than the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Hey, can I share screen? Can I share screen?
Sure.
I don't know. Can you?
I don't know. How do I share screen? Do I go share screen?
I have to click on.
Hold on a second, everybody. Stone Loki, if I do share screen, will that work for you?
No. Look, I'm going to share it. You've got to click it up there, though.
Okay, I see it.
You can see it. Okay, that's on the way, Ambassador.
I hate you.
Dude, I had that when I was a kid.
No, this is the die-cast metal.
Yes.
I hate
back
you.
This up just a second.
Those were
hate you
Boom.
so hard.
Okay, the red and the green ones.
I hate you so much.
The red and the green ones have detachable heads. They shoot off.
I hate you so. Wait a minute. What am I saying? What am I saying? I just recently found 2 cool vintage Star Wars figures. I don't hate you as much.
I have 2. I still have the blue and the yellow one from when I was a kid in the 80s.
Yep.
Okay.
Holy shit!
I haven't taken pictures of this, but I will eventually. I will next day or so. Just the other day, I was at a flea market, and I actually found a vintage '77 Jawa with its cape intact.
Nice.
Cloth cape.
A cloth cape. Yeah. I've got an one with the vinyl cape.
I do too.
I got a 77 Darth Vader with the lightsaber and the cape and still in the box.
Shut up. Okay, and this is one that I did not even know existed. I found a gold Death Star droid.
Yeah, you told me about this one.
Well, I didn't tell them though. Yeah, a gold Death Star droid from the original the very first line.
You need to take a good picture of that too and post it on the our channel.
Why would I do that?
I'm gonna say this here too.
Look at what it looks like. It's pretty. And I'm blind as a bat.
I'm gonna say this to Kronos. He says the Netflix version doesn't come close. I don't know because I only watched 2 episodes of it, and I'm gonna be the first one to say this. I am not a fan of Full Metal Alchemist, and that's what it felt like to me. And the moment they took King Roland and made him kind of a joke, I said it took me so out of the show. I said I can't watch this.
How can you?
And then when I found out they gender swapped Pidge, I was like, okay, fuck this, I'm out.
How can you take anyone that was voiced by Peter Cullen and make them a bitch?
Yeah,
against all the natural order of everything. Peter Cullen voiced the original King Roland, and you cannot make him a bitch because it was Peter Cullen.
I think what happened though, like once you started getting towards like
well,
season
they kind of
3
did the Transformers movies.
And when towards like season 3 and season 4, you started noticing that they cut down on the amount of episodes that they were doing, and it's like almost like there was a serious cut in their budget. Like how like season 2 was like 10, 12, 15 episodes. The next one was 6.
Yeah.
The one after that's 4. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Well, they did the same thing with Castlevania. See, the first season of Castlevania was like 4 episodes. And the second season was what, 12?
Yeah. Well, I think they only bought a partial episode for the first thing of Castlevania just to see if anyone was interested. And then they did season 2 was that 12 episode. I don't like, here we are, we're waiting for a year for a next season to come out, and then the season only got 4 episodes to it. And they're shorter episodes. They're only like 22 minutes or so. It's like, okay, we've been waiting for a year for this, and then it's on vacation again for another year. Screw this shit.
And Cronus is right about this.
Yep.
Peter Cullen is the narrator. Yes. Yeah. I mean, Optimus Prime is the freaking narrator of the Voltron series, the American version.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's awesome. But, guys, we're getting a little off topic. We got to get back to Spaceballs.
Okay.
What do you think about, I've never seen, this is actually the only movie that I know of where I ever saw Joan Rivers acting.
I thought she was awesome.
No, I'm not saying she wasn't awesome. I thought she was great, but I'm like, I don't know any other movie I think I've ever seen her in, other than maybe a cameo, but I can't even picture her. I used to see her live on TV and stuff. And just for reverence, Mando Mark, hey, welcome. We're glad you had time.
Mando, good to see you, Hoss.
But, she plays Dot Matrix, and for those of you who don't know, that's a very old-style printer.
Yep.
And it was so funny. It was so funny. And for those of you who don't know, that wasn't Joan Rivers in the suit. That was actually, if you came in late, there was actually another person who was in the suit, because I guess Joan Rivers didn't want that. They made concessions to where she did the voiceover, which I can understand, especially that desert scene.
Well, you have to remember too that the role of Dot Matrix, she was on roller skates. Yeah, she didn't want to fall over and fall, basically, because she was a fossil in 1887.
Yeah, and Jesse, do you realize what the way you said dot matrix just now? It sounded like dominatrix.
I can believe Joan Rivers was a closet dominatrix.
That's not what I said. It sounded like the way you said dot matrix. It sounded like dominatrix.
Well, when I review this later, I will let you know.
Hey, Master, I'm going to ask you a serious question, man. What the hell is in your vodka?
It's what he's
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's a little more loosey goosey than he's normal.
I'm getting a little creeped out over here. First, you're talking about human dog hybrids.
You Princess Leia and Chewie sleeping together, mass hysteria.
I never said that. I never said any such thing. It was one of you weirdos that brought that up. There,
No.
Kathia, in the chat.
No.
In Soviet Russia, Wookiee bangs you. Christ.
Again, we don't want to know about your weird Chewbacca fanfics with you involved.
I am a hairy son of a bitch, so it all works out.
Yeah, but you will never be as hairy. You will never, ever be as hairy as Robin Williams.
Okay, guys, I got a good one for you. Let's talk President Scrooge. I mean, this was my first time seeing Mel Brooks, and it wasn't until later I realized, watching several of his movies, that Mel Brooks has that thing with those crazy little mustaches he likes to put together.
Yep.
I know.
The Louis the 16th mustache.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you have ever seen this one by Mel Brooks. It's called To Be or Not to Be. It was one of his very first movies. It was him and Anne Bancroft, if I remember correctly. And it actually takes place during it takes place in pre-World War II Poland. Mm-hmm. And they're actually him and Anne Bancroft's character are both they're Jews, obviously. Well, obviously, if you don't know this, but he wears a during one play that's called Springtime for Hitler, or Hitler, Springtime for Hitler, and he actually wears a Hitler-esque mustache.
Yeah,
and Kathia, this is not Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm a dude, not a lady.
I think she's implying that
we need to call your wife in for help.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Kathia,
I'm perfectly fine.
Agreed.
Oh, shut up, Mirror. Quit being so repressed.
That's what
I mean, I think it's funny that the fact that I have not seen this movie in about 5 or 6 years, and I watched it today, and I literally am quoting line for line, going story. I'm like, I still remember this movie so fondly, and there's so many good memories, and it's just, you sit back and you watch it, and it's just such a feel-good sci-fi comedy. And I didn't know Bill Pullman. This was really early in his career.
This is his first movie.
Daphne
Zuniga.
Yeah, this was early in her career too. I mean, this was all very. I think only Rick Moranis and John Candy really had established careers at that point.
So Daphne, she had been in like an offset horror film, so several TV movies. She was on Family Ties. So she had kind of been around.
Chaos.
She had kind of been around, but her career wasn't really going too far. So this was the thing that really propelled her into, kind of stardom. I wouldn't know. I don't know how actual successful her career is compared to some others, but
and here's the crazy thing: for longest.
If I was going to say, her career took off in Melrose Place.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, and I'll say this: for the longest time, I didn't know Daphne Zuniga was Daphne Zuniga. I thought it was Nicole Aniston, or not. Yeah,
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, that's what I meant. Jennifer Aniston from Friends. Because they look so much alike.
Yeah, somewhat, especially at that age.
Okay, Ambassador, I think you need to get your glasses readjusted.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because if you're going to compare Jennifer Aniston and Daphne together, I'm sorry. I think Loki might agree with me with the little comment. They don't look any damn thing alike.
At that point in time, if you look at the very first and maybe second season of Friends, they do look relatively alike.
Thank you, Mir.
That's the thing. I hated Friends.
Yeah, I don't
You
watch
hate everything.
I love Jennifer Aniston. I think Jennifer Aniston was the hottest bitch on that show, and I still didn't watch Friends.
Yeah.
I'll watch Friends because I actually
really
have, a sense of humor.
But once she reached some of the later seasons, like after season 4, when she changed her hairstyle overall, she started looking a lot different.
Okay, Friends to me is like trying to watch The Big Bang Theory. Glad it was popular, but when I try to watch it, I'm like, I don't get your freaking humor, and I think y'all suck, and I'm not wasting my time just because you're popular.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Well, as the old saying goes, humor, like many things, is subjective. One man's comedy is another man's schlock.
That's it.
So, I may find it funny. You may not.
For the longest time, I always thought it was Christy Swanson, the chick who played Buffy.
Yeah,
they
from
look a lot alike.
That I could, yeah.
Oh, God. Christy Swanson. Okay. Christy Swanson and Drew Barrymore. I'm gonna say these names real quick. These are two women who got hotter as they got older.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Heirs of Chaos, yes. I will agree with that. Ross, I would want to thunder punch in the face or in the throat repeatedly. If I had been a character on Friends, I would have been like, shut up, Ross. And every time he tried to speak, I'd punch him in the throat and then render him mute for the entire episode and be like a running gag.
Pretty much. He was the most annoying character by far on that show.
What happened to Ross? The ambassador punched him in the throat so he can't speak.
And I helped.
You, Ross. That's how much I know about the show. I don't know who Ross was. I don't know who any of the characters on that show were.
So
let's get back to
Spaceballs.
2 more important quotes.
What about that? Okay, let's guys, we're at about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yep.
I want to kind of cut us out. Don't want to go over an hour and 30 minutes. So, let's get to the end of the movie where they talk about, when they're let's get to, overviews of the movie, what you think. But the ending was so funny when they go in the inner ear and they're trying to find the self-destruct button and they don't push this unless you really, really mean it.
Yep.
This is it's the self-destruct button. Can't we stop it? No, we can't stop it. It's irreversible. Like my raincoat.
Yep.
Lone Star.
This ship will self-destruct in 10, 9, 8, 6. What happened to 7? Just kidding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Okay, no. And I may not get this quote 100% correct, so please cut me some slack, guys. Lone Star, before I kill you, there's something you should know about it. I'm your brother's, sister's, cousin's roommate.
Yes.
Former roommate.
I am your father's, brother's, nephew's, cousin's former roommate.
Roommate from college.
What does that make us?
What does that make us?
Absolutely nothing. Which is what you are about to become.
Say goodbye to your 2 best friends. And I don't mean your pals in the Winnebago.
Dear me, what are those things coming out of her nose? Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
Oh shit.
There
goes the pen.
There goes the planet.
What about that part? Okay, guys. What about that part where they do the little touching with the rings, and then Darth Helmet puts his ring down, and Lone Star's trying to strike him and he can't do it. And then Darth Helmet lifts up his hand, ha ha, and he gets punched. And he's like, oh, that thing.
Yep.
He's like, there's one thing, Lone Star, I despise: a fair fight. But I must put it there.
Yeah.
Put it there.
Ouch!
I can't believe you.
Oh, here, let me go back to you.
Why evil will always win, because good is dumb. And can I just give a shout out to Erisa Chaos? That has got to be the most excellent burn I have ever seen. What does that make us? Absolutely nothing. Just like raised parents. I love it. Eris, you're my... You make life worth living.
You're my hero.
Yes. Yes. Eris of Chaos, you are my hero.
You're our only hope. I would agree with that. That's mic drop shit right there.
And I will say that raised parents are still more exciting than a Brie Larson podcast. Ugh.
Ouch! I haven't even watched that yet. And by the way, Mir, for the umpteenth dozen time, it's not a podcast, it's a live stream.
Well, I'm not interested enough to watch this shit, so if you want to make the clarification, you go right on ahead.
Well, at least Daphne had something that Brie Larson, and Daphne still has something that Brie Larson doesn't have. She has a decent pair of tits and actually an ass.
I was about to say the same darn thing.
Like something out of
about to say the same damn thing.
Well, that's what I said this morning too on Loki's podcast. I'm like, say what you will. Tom Welling still has a better ass.
Who's been dumping the bull shark testosterone into the ambassador's Cheerios?
I know, right?
I don't know.
This is not a podcast. It's a live stream.
Seriously, what the hell is in that vodka? There's like many subtle layers in there. Oh man!
But when you really really get
agreed, Eris. Agreed.
Yeah.
One of many, Eris. One of many.
Eris of Chaos. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Pretty much.
Shouldn't you be saying that to me?
No, God.
No. I think they gave you a bad batch, brother.
I don't do drugs.
It is such a fun. All right, guys, we're coming towards the end here. So everybody,
we go for another hour.
No, I can't go. No, we can't.
I gotta go cook my first dinner.
I try to limit these things to 90 minutes at best. I know sometimes we go over, but let's kind of keep it in the next 10 minutes. We'll call it a day.
I have a steak and a lobster to cook, so yeah, I ain't staying for too long. It's just
God, I'm so jealous of that. When I got that, I was like, oh God, that sounded so good.
Oh, it's gonna be even better once it's on my plate.
Yep.
Don't you mean when it's in your mouth and down your belly? And down
No,
your
I'll be taking pictures and sending it to you all. That's gonna be
I won't be looking at them. I'll just delete them all.
Well, I mean, I gotta send it to Chef because he's a chef.
Okay,
actually,
fine.
I'll tell you what. Speaking of Chef, I got to get with him because we have to. I need to know if he knows a good Chinese rice recipe because nothing we have tried here is worth a crap. Every time we try and do it, it comes out garbage. So I'm like, I need to talk to a professional when it comes to rice. Oh, I'm sorry. Fried rice,
Yes, fried
That's
rice.
Racist!
No, it's funny. There's a difference.
Honestly, it's racist
Star,
to someone that doesn't have a sense of humor.
Kathia Star, yes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, sorry, wrong movie.
Yeah, I've got
hold on a second. I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna do it. It's a steak.
Yes.
No, it's a steak taco cooked by Mexican Iron Man himself. Hola, Senor Iron Man.
Thou shalt not carnita.
Don't say that name 3 times. It'll just end up showing up.
Mexican Iron Man, Mexican Iron Man, Mexican Iron Man.
Hey, it's the cucarachas! Okay, there you
Orale!
All right, guys, if you're going to say his name, say it right. It's not Mexican Iron Man. It's Iron Man Mexicano. Get it right.
No.
Mexicano.
No, it's Mexican Iron Man.
No, it's Iron Man Mexicano in Spanish.
Look, he's G.I. Jose, a real Mexican hero.
Oh, Eric, you don't have to distract us. We do that. We do that fine all by ourselves.
You know what? At the end of the day, we all love Mexican Iron Man.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And we all love Spaceballs.
And Mexican Iron Man loves all you guys too.
And this was a more real, cohesive, and coherent podcast than Brie Larson will ever have.
Yes.
It's not a podcast. It's a live stream.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
No, Mira's the tumor. The tumor on my brain driving me insane.
I didn't know I was living in your head rent free, man.
Oh.
Actually, you're not. The only thing living in my brain is thoughts of my my missus.
Good. Well, in that case, I'm enjoying this podcast just fine.
It's not a podcast. It's a live stream.
Rent free.
You know what? I had a funny one. I was dealing with some politics stuff on Twitter. I'm not going to go into details, but I had someone give me a question about my psychological health, my mental health. I said, my last psychological profile was done in the past year. I am totally fine. All the voices in my head are getting along.
Kathia, unfortunately, no, that is not the full summoning ritual. The full summoning ritual actually involves a mariachi band.
Yes, it must have a mariachi band.
And you must roast a young goat. And then make it into
sounds pretty good.
And then make it into goat tacos.
Oh, my good.
Or if you prefer,
goat,
or we're talking Mexican food, not that nasty Indian food.
Well, my wife is West Indian, so if we have that all in the house, that's kind of nice. Curry goat's awesome.
I cannot eat anything.
Mira, I'm just kidding. I actually didn't know that your wife was that, so my apologies.
Yeah.
Well, you never disclosed the ethnicity of your wife, so how the hell am I supposed to know? So that say.
Hey, you know what? You never asked. That's your damn fault.
That's right.
I shouldn't have to ask you, asshole.
He's an asshole.
Okay, guys. We're coming up on
sometimes I park in handicapped spaces.
Hey,
people
I'm
make
gonna pull a mask. You. Nah, I wouldn't really do that. But okay, guys. Let's give our final thoughts on Spaceballs, and let's give our final and then plug anything you got going on. So first off, I'm going to start with our guest, Stone Loki. Give your final thoughts on Spaceballs and plug whatever you got coming next.
It's a 10 out of 10, man. It's one of Mel Brooks, if not the best Mel Brooks. I know a lot of people are going to argue that, but in my opinion, it is the best movie he ever made. He was at the top of his game, the pinnacle of his career. You can say Blazing Saddles rivals it all you want to. I laugh my ass off more when I watch Spaceballs than when I watch Blazing Saddles. That's just my opinion. I've got, of course, Mornings of Mischief coming up tomorrow. And we've got 7 Kinds of Mischief coming up at 7 tomorrow night.
Yay.
All right. The Ambassador, final thoughts and what you got coming up.
Final thoughts on Spaceballs. Oh, my goodness. This is not only a quintessential 80s movie, it is a quintessential comedy, a quintessential parody movie. It is a quintessential sci-fi movie. It fills all your quintessential needs. It is a masterpiece of cinema. And if you have not watched it at least once in your life, then what the hell are you doing here? Go watch it now. As far as what's going on with the channel this week, I had to push back Afternoons with the Ambassador Babylon 5 review to Wednesday. That'll be at 12 with Adega Outlaw, author and Dr. Adega Outlaw, and my other good friend, Mountains of Elysium. And that'll be at 12 Central Time. And then Wednesday night, unless something goes haywire, me and Kathy Star will be continuing our review of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 1. And then I might be doing an installment of Afternoons with the Ambassador on Friday. It depends on what I've got going on this week. But likely I will be having an installment of Afternoons with the Ambassador. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. I have some people on, might just do something myself. But this Saturday, going to be starting a lineup of great streams for the next 3 weeks on my channel with the Ambassador Wing on Saturday. This Saturday, I've got my good friend Enosh Fett from Point Extra Lounge coming on, and we're going to discuss a great topic from the 1980s, and that is G.I. Joe and Transformers. The comic, the cartoon, the toy. So that'll be at 7:30 Central Time. And that is all for this week, at least.
All right. Awesome, Ambassador. All right, Mr. Mir, what do you got going on? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about? Give your final thoughts.
Well, first, I want to thank Stone Loki for having me on just for a couple of minutes this morning on his live stream.
Podcast.
It's about time.
It's a podcast.
Exactly.
It was a podcast.
God damn it!
My pleasure. It was a podcast.
Yours is a live stream. Everything done on YouTube is a live stream.
Even in the future, nothing works.
That's right.
Yeah,
because nobody knows how to push a freaking button properly.
Pretty much. Out of order. Yeah, this is just one of those this is one of those movies that even if you aren't a lover of sci-fi, but just want to laugh and make, just watch a movie that just pokes fun at almost all of the sci-fi from the 60s to the 80s, this is definitely, the movie to watch. As far as what I've got going on this week, I said I got a steak and a lobster in about an hour or so, and I'm starting school again on Wednesday. Lucky
Congrats.
me. No, damn it. I was really.
Thank you, Heirs of Chaos.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be off for this quarter, but I decided to take a couple of classes. Eris, I completely agree with you. They are very different, but when there's an opportunity to just grind the Ambassador's gears, how can I resist?
Yep.
This is, exactly, Jesse, exactly. But yeah, so with that, I hand the floor over to Jesse.
All right, for those of you who haven't figured out, yes, Indie Geek, my first name is Jesse. Everybody knows it. That's fine. I love it. I love that everybody knows it. Oh, man, this movie is literally just so much fun, so much enjoyment, and it is comedy done right. It is just like the way you want a parody to be done. You want to take something you really love, and if you want to make fun of it, this is how you do it. Crap. Robin Hood Men in Tights comes to mind too. Yep. It's just a fantastically well done, well put together, cohesive story. And I'm just going to go on record and say it's better than the Star Wars sequels by far.
Yeah, those are real Star Wars movies.
As far as what I got going on, I don't have anything planned right now for next week. My team and I, Mr. Mir, the Ambassador, Chefzilla, will coordinate what we're going to come up with on Monday at 6:30 Eastern Daylight Time. We are always welcome to have guests on. We haven't decided yet. I'm planning a Women of Star Trek review, and Madam Geek, Purple Valkyrie, and Samantha Joe have all agreed to come on them. We just have to get together, set up the time. And I decided if I was going to have a panel that talks about the women of Starfleet or Star Trek, I figured who better than some great geeky women to talk about it. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I just need to make time to coordinate it this week. Well, not this week, but last week. For those of you who don't know, it was a busy week. It was my son's birthday. My wife retired from the Air Force. It was the 4th of July. It was a busy, busy week. And this week's going to be busy too. But
you forget
it's been a roller coaster ride, and it's worth it, and it's been fun. And I want to thank the ambassador. I want to thank Stone Loki. I want to thank Mir for coming in and talking about what I would like to think is literally sci-fi comedy gold.
Eris of Chaos asked you, wait, what? I thought I was on the panel.
Oh, Eris of Chaos. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I totally screwed up there. That's my fault. It's been a little bit. I'm sorry, Eris of Chaos. I've been a little busy. Yes, you are, of course, absolutely part of that panel too. That's my fault. I did a really bad brain fart there. You can smack me in the face anytime you want with that one. So I apologize for that. Yes,
just blame it on all that crack you smoked earlier. You're fine, Jesse.
Oh yeah, him and the ambassador.
All right, to everyone out there in the panel, everyone out there in the chat, everyone who comes in later to watch the show, all I got to say is this. May the Schwartz be with you.
And come back for Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
Good night, everyone.
This movie has balls.
Has a lot of balls.
Big balls.